Hello and welcome. Well, we're going to change out a coolant tank today. This one sprung a leak and I'm not sure why. I just ordered a new tank and we'll figure it out when I get it off. I may fix it and keep it as a backup, or if it's got a big split in it, I'll throw it away. It's been on there about 2 years. A little disappointed in the quality of the tank, although this one is well made and seems to be really thick. Anyway, that's what we're going to do today. When I made this thing though, I made it easy to remove. I remember at work they had a stainless tank that was about this big. You had to get a wet dry vac and suck it all out of there, and it'd get mold growing in it. I thought, I'm going to make this thing so it's easy to maintain. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I made a video on this. It's been quite a while back, but it is really simple to take this off. There's a drain hose from each side of the mill table, quick release on the pump, unplug it, lift the whole coolant tank out. Shouldn't take very long. Feels like it's got about a gallon of coolant still in it. Of course, it's got a divider in the bottom, I assume to keep debris in one half away from the pump. Looks amazingly clean in there. The side here is probably a little dirtier. Well, it looks like the pump side is mostly empty, so I guess the leak is on this side. I need to find something to dump that into. Well, I found the leak. It's right there on the corner. Right there. Probably hard to see on the camera, but well, probably no sense in cleaning that out real good. Looks like a little split right there. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not. Looks like the corner's been like dented right there, which I don't remember doing that. We'll put the new tank on there. Fairly quick and easy. Here we go. It's done. There it is. I got a video on this. I'll post the link down below in the description area. If you ask me, that's the only way to put a coolant tank on a mill. Of course, you're not going to feed several machines with it, but it'd probably keep up with any mill. I got a switch right there. Had a little trouble welding that. The guy that sold me the tank for my TIG welder gave me MIG gas, And MIG and TIG are not interchangeable. Once I managed to get through it, and it's holding up just fine. But anyway, I'll post the video down below. Post a link to it. Well, that was a short little video. Let me add a little bit to this. Show you some tools I got from a very unlikely source. I got a trepanning tool here. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's for cutting a groove in the end of something on the lathe. It's got an insert. Got my hand up there trying to get the camera to focus up close. Let me put it down on the table. Yeah, it looks a little better. Kind of a wild looking tool. Got a couple of inserts with it. I can't remember if I bought them separate or if they came with the tool. I think I bought them separate. Wild looking insert, carbide of course. That came from Temu. Never seen anything like that. But it's just not something I would have expected to get on Temu. Came with a little wrench. Something else I got on Temu, and I'll show you how they both work. These are wood lathe inserts for my CNC wood lathe. They say they're for wood or aluminum, and I don't think you can see that up close without some kind of close-up lens. But it's got basically a tip that's shaped like a spoon. You can turn it around, and it's a little bit bigger. But it works amazingly well on my CNC wood lathe. So let's give this thing a try. This is why I bought the trepanning tool. This is a phenolic disc, and I got to make one of these. It has a little embedded brass ring. I got to cut that groove to embed that. This is part of a neon clock. It's got neon hands, and this is what makes the contact when the hands move. But I got a guy that wants me to make a couple of those. But we're going to try it on metal today. I don't have the phenolic to make this. I should probably move my compound so that I can control the feed rate. Move it at a right angle. Feed it with my compound. It looks like a fragile insert. I hope I don't mess this up. There's probably some guidelines on minimum diameter, but I don't know what that would be. I'm just eyeballing the center height. Okay, let's give this thing a try. Well, I'm fairly impressed. There was no drama to that. You can get that insert in different widths. And I can't remember what I got here. I think I got 2 millimeter. And you might get it in a 3, I don't know, I can't remember. But I'll put the links down below in the description. Well, that was a success. That was, I think that was about $25 with the inserts and the tool holder. Okay, let's move over to the wood lathe. Okay, there's what we're making. And you can see the tool right there. It's about where it is there. Now the stock I'm using here is a little bit small, so it's not going to be exact. I don't know if it'd be big enough to do the profile, but it'll work. Well, I've got my dust collector running. It doesn't do a very good job, but it's better than nothing. This is what we're making. I don't think the stock is quite big enough, but it'll work. See what it looks like. It looks pretty rough. Okay, just increase the RPM. Okay, here we go. Not too bad. Of course, it would have looked better with a larger piece of wood. I didn't have any stock that was at the right diameter. But I'm very pleased with that. Very pleased. Well, that about wraps it up for today. I'm pleased with that cutter, the insert. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Be sure and subscribe and ring that bell.